So something that's very familiar to probably all of us is Deming's Plan, Do, Check, Act. It's a really familiar term that we hopefully use in our day-to-day. And you'll see when you go through here, we plan, we recognize an opportunity, we test the change, we study, we review the test, analyze and results, identify what you've learned, and then we get to the act. And so this is where I believe Discipline Agile provides the most bang for your buck. We get to the act, and the act says, based on what you learned in the study step, if the change did not work, go through the cycle again with a different plan or approach. If you were successful, incorporate what you learned from the test into a wider change. Use what you learned to plan new improvements, beginning the cycle again. I just want to circle back to, if the change did not work, go through the cycle again with a different plan. Where do we find that plan? Our methods just failed. Where do you start? I mean, you could read one of the thousands of books out there and try to deploy one of those plans. Or in Discipline Agile, we have our guided continuous improvement. And the guided continuous improvement circles us back to our process goals and our process blades and gives us the direction we need to try a new strategy. Let me give you a visualization. These are our Discipline Agile toolkit with our process blades. And then over here is our Discipline Agile delivery process goals. When we drill down into any one of these inside either our Discipline Agile browser, which I'm going to show shortly, or into one of our process blades from the toolkit, we get a plethora of information and options for us to try for next steps, for new experiments, new ways of working, and it gives us a roadmap without having to go out there and read hundreds of books and try to figure out what should we do next. And then, oh, I'm just going to put this right here. The thing is when it comes to Waterfall versus Agile, I don't necessarily think it needs to be one or the other. Projects need to flex their approaches to meet the business needs, and of course, context matters. So for myself, I work in an industry that has a lot of compliance requirements and regulations. I don't often have the freedom to just try new things out. So there are elements, I didn't coin this term and I'm not necessarily wild about it, but the term Agile, which is part Waterfall and then part Agile. But for me, when I'm doing projects, a lot of times I have to do those requirements and regulations up front, and there's a very regimented serial approach to it. But as you can see here, even though we're deploying it in a different time frame, both Agile and Waterfall has requirements, has designs, has development, test, deployment, and maintenance. Are they really all that different when it comes to the roadblocks we could run into? So I would venture to say we could also have the same solutions. And I know for myself, I utilize disciplined Agile, whether I'm in a Waterfall or serial process, or if I'm working in an Agile process. See, changing the mindset is one of the biggest drivers of success with an Agile formation, a transformation. Of course, process and tools are important and have approximately a collective 20% impact on your transformation, but the real bang for your buck is in changing the mindset. I find out there sometimes that people are Agile because there's no process. Or people are Agile because they always do the same thing every single time, no matter what the situation is. And I would venture to say that neither one of those situations are actually Agile. With Discipline Agile, it gives you a toolkit that's not so heavy that you can't turn and pivot, but it does give you a guideline of what to do next. So as we've seen from the slide with the Waterfall and Agile slide, we're not actually all that different in processes, just the delivery. The context of the delivery changes with the context of the business needs. Discipline Agile gives you that roadmap on the who, what, where, how, and why, based on the context of the project or the value delivery. We work in very complex business environments. There's no one Agile framework to deploy that will meet the needs of every situation in every business every time. We need choices with pragmatic approaches, and that is what we get from Discipline Agile.